Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond Local, episode 27, the podcast here. Normally we do it at Studio 16 on site, but because we got blasted with a snowstorm here in the northeastern Pennsylvania and COVID going on, we had to do it remotely. But we wanted to do it because we wanted to make sure we're providing our podcast for our fans each and every week. So I'm Jeff Kimmel. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and I'll be your host today. With me today is none other than Mark Diamond, our Director of Paid Media. Mark, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, everyone.
So Mark's a regular on Beyond Local. He's provided us with tons of excellent information. And today he's here to provide us with the 5 best Instagram marketing tips for 2021, which is, I'm pretty excited. I might not fit into your demographic as if I was reading your article. I took a sneak peek, but I am on Instagram. I follow Ryan Reynolds. So that's kind of cool, right? And hopefully that'll be somewhere in your presentation today. But if you haven't seen it, Mark has an article posted. But we're going to highlight here some of the things that he covered in there and share it with you on this podcast. So Mark, give me a little background on Instagram and its importance and, the demographics, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. So there's 130 million active Instagram users in the United States alone. It's like 1 billion plus people globally, but more specifically for the United States, the age range and demographics are pretty interesting. Actually, half the US population under 45 are on Instagram, although it is more geared towards teens and younger, specifically like the 15 to 35-year-olds. And as far as popularity among that group, it's one of the most popular social media networks, right behind Snapchat and TikTok, which we've covered in the past on this podcast as well.
That's great. Okay. So yeah, very popular with a lot of different people. And I think we can reach a lot of people using Instagram, with our businesses. So like a previous host would say every now and again, let's peel back the onion a little bit on that. So you have the 5 top things that we should be aware of as we go into 2021 for Instagram and getting in front of people, getting in front of the right people and going to where they are, where they're interacting on a daily basis. So, and I think this might, be outside of what I'm doing with Ryan Reynolds, but a business account, we got to create a business account. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's the first step on anything you're going to do with Instagram. So first, you're going to need a business account. The whole reason you need that is if you don't have one, you're going to miss out on features that we'll discuss later. But mostly it's related to insights, and you gain a bunch of different features that you could then use to grow your audience and get more engagement. So that's the first step. You absolutely have to have a business account. If you don't have one already, very simple to set up, and they're free. So if you create an Instagram account, go to the settings, you tap your account. There's a section called switch to professional account. That's what you would hit. Then there's a section in that called business. You'd follow the prompts all related to setting up the business account, and it's done. Really, it takes like a minute or less to set up there.
Okay. So once you have it set up, do you have to do anything? Do you have to optimize it in any way? Is there anything that you have to do after it's up and running?
Yeah, great point. So there's a lot that you have to do in order to optimize your Instagram account. And by that, we just mean you want to set up your account so 1, that it looks professional, and 2, that people could actually find you if they're searching for your brand on Instagram. So your bio, you're limited to 150 characters, including spaces. I recommend playing around with some emojis there, make it fun, make your brand like a fun brand on this platform. Your profile, that's 30 characters. You got your handle, that's 30 characters. That's where people could @ you and connect with you. You also have your website address. That's a clickable URL. That's a key one on the Instagram as far as your profile is concerned. I also have a business category. That's an invisible category. People don't see that, but you can set it up. So if people are searching for like marketing agencies, for example, there's a business category for that. And then if you're a restaurant or a local business, you could also add buttons to your Instagram, such as order food, set up gift cards. They could book now or reserve an appointment for your actual business there. And then once you have all of that, you pretty much have a pretty nice professional Instagram page. For your Instagram image, it's going to be a circle. I believe it's 150 by 150 pixels, but you might want to, you probably should go up a little bit, and then it'll zoom in on it, make it look very nice there. But back to the reason you'd set up a business account is it gives you access to insights. So the cool part about that is literally you're able to see what posts are performing well. If you post something on Instagram TV, you could see that. With insights, it literally tells you the age demographics of people interacting with your post. It tells you what time they're coming on. There's numerous insights that you could take away based on looking at the data that's actually coming through, and then adjust your strategy based on what we're finding on the actual profile itself.
That's great. So if I had a business account and I got it optimized, I could see if Ryan Reynolds is coming to my site and visiting me and reading my post, you're telling me, right?
You actually could. If he's engaging and clicking on it, you could definitely see that he's one of the people that you should hit up.
Right, which I'm sure he would be. That's
Yeah.
great. It's good to know. Thank you. So are there any other tools out there that you can use? I mean, I'm not really good with a lot of the different things to
Yeah.
create images and posts and stuff like that. Do we have any tools that we can utilize with our Instagram account?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple of tools I like to use and that the LSEO team likes to use. The first one is Canva. I'm sure many people have heard of it. If you haven't, it's a free tool that you're able to create some pretty decent graphic designs on. There's a lot of templates that it gives you, and the templates change as the holidays change. Right now, you can see a bunch of stuff for Christmas and New Year's, and you could click on those, edit it, throw your logo on it, switch the messaging out, and then you have a pretty professional looking photo for Instagram, which is great. Another one I like to use personally is called Banner Snack. Banner Snack lets me put in a lot of different templates all at once. It has more templates than Canva, but it has a bunch of different sizes. So I'm literally able to edit a bunch of different sizes for all my social posts, for all the ads I create all at once. So Banner Snack's a really cool tool that has those templates. And then in addition to that, it also animates the actual image itself. So it creates a fun little animation that people could see and interact with. And that typically gets more engagement. And then once you actually have those images or videos that you want to post, of course, you need like a calendar or a scheduler so you could actually visualize what your profile is going to look like and when you can schedule those posts. So for that, there's a software called later.com. There's a free version, there's a paid version, but it lets you literally see your entire month of Instagram posts that you could plan out and make sure that everything is on par as far as it lines up with your brand guidelines. Nothing's falling through the cracks so that you're missing to schedule a post. So that's a really cool one I like to check out as well. And then the last one that I think that could really help people is called Linktree. Linktree is something that we use at LSEO as well. Like I mentioned before, you have one website URL that's clickable that you can put in your profile. So you could put lseo.com for us, for example, but then that's kind of it. It goes to the homepage. Whereas Linktree, it's a free tool. You're able to create like a little mini landing page, and you're able to have a lot of different URLs on that landing page. So you'd get a Linktree URL, you put that in your bio, and when the person clicks on it, you could list as many URLs as you want. So for example, on the LSEO page, we offer a free SEO audit, and then we have links to literally all of our other social channels, so they could go see our other social channels and follow us and engage with us on YouTube or of course Instagram, but Facebook as well.
Right. Awesome. That's great. I mean, so now we've created a business account. We made sure it was optimized. We look at the insights of who's coming and visiting us. Now we talked about a couple of the different tools to make it, really attractive and get, all the posts that we want and scheduling and so on and so forth. How do we get people there? How do we get people to engage with now our Instagram profile and the things that we're doing on Instagram?
Yeah, and engagement is king on Instagram. I mean, without engagement, your posts aren't going to go anywhere. They're not going to reach new audiences. So you need people to engage. In fact, Instagram's algorithm really promotes people and the community when they're engaging with you and you engage with other people. So there's a couple of ways to do that. First, you know what type of content that gets engagement. You could also, you know, use like polls, sliders, a bunch of different stuff along those lines. But first, let's start with the types of content that you could post on Instagram. Really, for me, I'd say that there's three types. There's educational, just telling your brand story, and then there's promotional posts. With educational, it could be like an infographic explaining the benefits of your product or service. Maybe it's like a 60-second tutorial video or news about your industry. Those are pretty popular. There's also telling your brand story. That could be like behind the scenes images or videos, fun tidbits about your brand, maybe like company values or a testimonial of a raving fan, anything along those lines. For promotional posts, that doesn't necessarily mean that like you're asking for a sale and being like overly salesy, but it could be that you're sharing user content that they've posted about your brand or product, that you're cross posting from other social channels by uploading screenshots of what you posted on like Twitter, for example, or maybe it's having like an influencer use your product and you're reposting that. The important part here, though, is that when you do upload images, you have to make sure that you're including the alt text to it. So alt text is an invisible description of the image that you upload, and it's read aloud to blind users when they're on a screen reader. The cool part about that, though, is it also helps your searches, your images get found in search on an Instagram search if the description's good enough. And to do that, it's really simple. I'd say not a lot of people know how to do this, but you literally go to your image on the top right-hand corner. There's three little dots. You tap on that, you tap on edit, and then there's literally a section that says edit alt text. You put in a meaningful description and save it, and then you're pretty much set.
Great. Yep. That really does help with your SEO then as well, right?
It does, yeah. And then the additional ways to like engage and get found on Instagram. Obviously, hashtags are a pretty good one. Hashtags are pretty much known with Instagram, but there's a strategy around that as well. I'd say a lot of people, from what I've seen, is they start off thinking like they should find the most popular hashtag with millions and millions of posts, and I'd say that they're wrong, depending on the size of their account. So what they really should do is niche up. So they have to narrow their search. They shouldn't be too broad. They have to find hashtags within their niche, and then start with hashtags that have 0 to 200,000 posts in them and include a few hashtags per post. The reason you'd want to start with having hashtags in that range is because it's going to be much easier to have your content shown. If you're using a hashtag that has millions of posts, first, your post might not even get shown when people are searching for that hashtag. But even if it does, it'll probably be gone in a few seconds because then other people are also using that hashtag, so their posts get shown. So niche up, find hashtags that have 0 to 200,000 posts in them. And a really great tip that you could do to get like an immediate engagement when you're posting is 15 minutes before you're actually going to post whatever image that, or video that you're going to do, go find 5 to 10 new accounts and go engage with them. That could be a like, it could be a comment if you have a meaningful thing to say. Don't be salesy or write fake comments because people could definitely tell. Or it could also mean that you follow them. The cool part about that is they get a notification, they see, hey, who liked my stuff, who commented on my stuff, or who followed me. Then they'll go do it to you. They'll see that you posted something, and they'll likely go comment, or they'll like it, or they'll likely give you a follow as well. And like I said before, the Instagram algorithm really promotes community. So the more engagement that person gives you, the more they're going to see your post, and the more engagement your posts get, the more it's going to reach out to other people as well. It's like a win-win situation for everyone.
Hashtag good info, Mark.
Yeah.
That was they're very insightful. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And then the third thing that you could do that's real simple, it's using Instagram stories. On stories itself, there's a bunch of different stuff that you can get engagement on. There's sliders, there's polls, there's questions that you could ask. It's real easy to set up. basically what you do is when you go on stories and click the story, there's the screen that pops up to create a new story. There's three icons at the top of the screen. On the left-hand side, there's a gear. On the right-hand side, there's an X. But in the middle, there's this smiley face sticker looking icon. You click on that and it brings up a bunch of different stuff that you could put on your stories. Look for polls, sliders, and questions and put them on your story. When you're going to do that is basically it's asking for people to engage with you. And again, engagement's good on Instagram. And then wait 5 hours after your post. And then using insights, you're literally able to see who engaged with you, like who used the slider, who answered the polls, who answered the questions. And now you're going to go engage with them. So everyone who engaged with you, you have to go return the favor, go like, comment, or follow them. And then again, they're likely going to do the same thing to you, and it builds up that kind of steam there. Another cool part about the stories is make sure that you're using a location tag on them if you're local. For example, if you're like a local restaurant or a local retail person and you're in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, which is where we are, use the location tag, because what's going to happen here is anyone in that location, your story is going to reach out to. If you don't want to show in the story that it says Wilkes-Barre, you could literally like zoom in or zoom out on it, so it's so small on your story that no one could see it, but it still has that tag on it. And that way, anyone in your immediate location who should be your like audience, it's going to be more likely that they're going to be able to see your story. So that's just kind of like a way to reach them organically as well.
Oh, that's great. And then, some of the things that Mark's sharing with us is in his blog post. So if you want to find more information, he has screenshots in there to show you some of the things that he's talking about when he's navigating there. So it'll be easier to follow along if you are setting up your Instagram business account. One last thing I think that we haven't covered yet was creating Instagram ads. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So Instagram is a really cool, ad platform. It's connected to Facebook's ad network. So Instagram isn't necessarily its own platform. You have to go through Facebook to set it up. So in order to do that, you have to have a Facebook page. You have to create a Facebook business manager. You have to connect your Instagram page and your Facebook page to the business manager, create an ad account, and then create a pixel and connect it all. A little bit complicated, but it's really not too very difficult once you know how to do it. So it's just an ad placement on the Facebook ad network, but there's also a lot that you could do to target your ads on Instagram itself. So right off the bat, on Instagram, why you would use ads is you could expand your reach. So again, that's getting more engagement on your post. Even if it's a paid post, you're reaching more people that you couldn't do organically. So you get more people to see your post and hopefully like, comment, and follow on it. And then you could go like, comment, and follow on them as well and build that community. But more commonly, I see it used for sales, so making people buy a product or acquiring lead information. So kind of more like a sales tool. And if you're running Facebook ads right now, you actually are probably using Instagram as a placement already. You could actually go into the Facebook ads manager, and on the top right hand section, there's a thing called breakdown. You can click platform and it'll break down what's actually happening on Instagram based on your Facebook campaign as well. But aside from that, Instagram has a lot of cool features on its ad network, and it's a great way to find new customers to engage with your brand. You're literally able to target based on interest, based on behaviors, age ranges, genders, like location, language. You could upload an email list and target specific email lists. You could create lookalike of email lists. So let the algorithm find people who look like that email list you just got. You could target based on life events, like someone just got engaged or had a baby. You could target based off of like what industry they work in. If they've interacted with your site, you could remarket to them. If they've interacted with your page, you could show them specific ads. There's like a lot you could do with the ad network. And that's why it's really beneficial for businesses to actually go on it, because of all the stuff that you could do on Instagram. And it typically works out pretty well for the people who are on there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great because like when you think about different types of ads that we put out on Google, you're putting up an ad, you're hoping the person searches for it. Here,
Yeah.
you're actually targeting people who are interested in what you're trying to put in front of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's a great point. So there you have it. They're the 5 best Instagram marketing tips, and I'm sure you have more, but we could take up a lot more time and go through them. But they're the ones that are actually going to work going into 2021. Do you have any closing remarks that you want to share with us before we send
Yeah,
off?
definitely. If anyone needs help just setting up Instagram, or has questions about Instagram ads and how it could work for their business, they could reach us at sales@lseo.com, and then we'll be happy to take a look and give our thoughts on what we could do to help them out.
Awesome. Thank you. Mark, how many times is this for you being on Beyond Local?
Quite a few.
Right, right. And Mark does all of the Instagram ads, and does all of our paid social, paid search, all of that kind of stuff. And he gives excellent service and awesome knowledge, not only on these podcasts, but also on the blog posts and stuff like that. And I was thinking, like, with a name like Mark Diamond, we should be marketing that a little bit more. Like, if you really want good Instagram ads, come for the Diamond experience at LSEO.
That's right.
So there you have it, everybody. We not only gave you the 5 best tips, but we told you where to get the Diamond experience for your marketing pleasure. But that'll do it for this episode of Beyond Local, episode 27. Like I said, continue to tune in every week. Check out the blog post from Mark for more information. And thanks for tuning in this week, and see you next time.